White liberals are just as racist as white conservatives. Malcolm X was absolutely right. This video is inspired by the comments made by actress Sarah Paulson regarding her role in 12 Years a Slave. Long story short, I believe that this role as a brutal slave owner was empowering to her as a white woman. Black people, slaves, were used as stepping stones to this woman's sense of empowerment. But, I did not catch wind of these comments until years and years after I watched the film. Okay? I didn't even catch wind of these comments until after I actually read the book. When I read the book, the character that Sarah Paulson played was much different in the narrative, in the memoir, than it was on film. According to Solomon Northup, the character that Paulson played was kind to every slave except for Patsy because of her jealousy. And that, according to Solomon, he overrode Mrs. Epps' authority several times throughout the book. He saved Patsy from her wrath several times throughout the book. None of this is depicted in the film. In the film version, Mrs. Epps threatened Solomon with 1,000 lashes. That never happened. And in the movie, it's clear that Solomon wouldn't dare challenge her authority, but he did in the book several times. So, and that's not the only thing that rubbed me the wrong way about the film adaptation, after I read the memoir and realized how inaccurate it was. There were other things that, kind of confused me, because I'm like, why would a black filmmaker leave these things out? There's a lot of black empowerment, a lot of empowering things for black people to latch onto in the book that wasn't in the movie. Like, a slave had killed a white overseer with an axe. Solomon had choked a white overseer out for trying to stab him. Solomon also came across a group of runaway slaves who were so dangerous that white slave catchers were too afraid to venture into the woods to go after them. So a lot of things. So when I learned this is what went down in the book. The film adaptation kind of pissed me off. And then I came across Sarah Paulson's comments on Twitter. There were a few black people who were talking about how they didn't like her comments in a certain interview she did, I think 2 years after the film was released. It was like a round table discussion or whatever. And basically she was making excuses for the character. And then she was asked if she had any hesitation in playing the role. She said no, and I didn't have a problem with that because, if I'm a person who wants to, read about slave narratives, if I want to see slave narratives on the big screen, why would I have a problem with an actor playing a slave owner? You know what I'm saying? If I want to see films about slavery. So I didn't have a problem with that. But it wasn't until Vera Farmiga, another actress, chimed in on this discussion and said, I wanted the role too. And they both started giggling with each other, and they had this kind of girl power moment. And that rubbed me the wrong way, because I'm like, are they using black people, slaves, as a stepping stone to their sense of empowerment as white women? And that's when it started to bug me. And I'm like, am I being oversensitive here? Because I'm not liking this shit. And then I went down a rabbit hole of interviews Paulson did about her role in 12 Years a Slave. And I didn't like